Hi everyone, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks, and today we've got the pleasure of watching NoExuces, I guess no excuses, of the European server playing in their Tier 9 German medium tank. It is the E50. Now, I can't really talk about this vehicle without also talking about the fact that this tank is a roleplay E50M right now, and that's because NoExuces is definitely not leaving them the opportunity to have the excuse of I should have loaded gold. And that is because they've only loaded gold ammunition on this tank. And the reason why I call it a roleplay E50M right now is because an E50's premium rounds is the same as the standard rounds on the E50M, with all the benefits of getting to play against Tier 7 tanks rather than playing against Tier 8 vehicles as the matchup that NoExuces is in. The E50 back in the day was a favorite amongst stat padders who want to take gold rounds on this vehicle and just absolutely pump up their DPM or their WN8 as the case may be. Because this vehicle, while its DPM isn't bad, it's not exactly exceptional. I think I see that NoExuces as well seems to be going for their third mark of excellence on their E50, although, yeah, looks like they've got 6 rings, and 6 rings on a German tank means they've got 2 marks. So, you know what? Some players like to play the game this way. Some players think, okay, I'll go and I'll load a load of premium tanks on my account. Maybe I'll make advantage of the Harvest Festival event that's been going on right now where people can earn even extra credits. You can have credit boosters, and eventually people don't have anything else they really want to spend credits on. And so I believe that NoExuces is probably loading full gold here to be able to give them every opportunity that they need to complete that E50M roleplay, and also maybe to try and push that little bit of extra damage for their third mark of excellence. Well, take it away, NoExuces, and show us what you've got in this German medium tank. And don't you just love German medium tanks for these kind of situations? Side scrape, bouncing, brawling, decent accuracy, decent gun handling, and decent penetration to boot, especially with these premium rounds here on the E50. Now, NoExuces has got themselves into an absolute high-pressure nightmare scenario here. Not with regards to the matchup, but more importantly, with regards to the fact that there's about 10 tanks just trying to surround them right now. And NoExuces is going to have to hit every single one of these shots if they want to be able to stop their opponents from overwhelming them. In these kinds of scenarios, I see far too many players play too safely. And when they play safely, they don't have the opportunity to actually lower the enemy's hit points and remove their vehicles to not be overwhelmed and engaged by multiple tanks at the same time. Your only way to handle these kinds of situations is to take your risks, to still try and side scrape, to still try and get your shots in. Because your opponents aren't going to stop coming for you in this scenario when you're outnumbered. And so it's your raw firepower and the DPM that the E50 has, and the E50M has the exact same amount, as to why this vehicle just feels arguably stronger than the E50M tier for tier. The E50 and the E50M, as I said, share the same rate of fire, and so to have that 2,437 DPM at tier 9 just feels so much better than at tier 10, where lots of the other tier 10 medium tanks that you have to compete with are starting to pack like 2,900 or even 3,000 base damage per minute. Great shot there into the M2Y, secures the second kill for NoExuces. And I think all of you ladies and gentlemen and boys and girls out there might be starting to get excited about the fact that NoExuces is already up to 6,000 damage, and there are still 10,000 hit points left on the enemy team. And NoExuces, right up until that last moment, had about half of their hit points left. But unfortunately, looks like the gold rounds go both ways. And the Samoa SM fires a shot up into the turret of the E50, with NoExuces raising the gun to be able to absorb more of the punishment. Lovely shot there into the side of the IS-22. He's got to be careful for a second here, because it looks like the Samoa SM, who had that penetrating round against NoExuces, might be trying to sneak up and try and flank around. But again, NoExuces doesn't really have an opportunity to think too much about what may or may not be flanking them, as they just got to keep grinding what's underneath them. And can you honestly believe it? If we look at the health bar at the top of the screen right now, you see how the enemy team have 7,500 hit points left. All of that, if we imagine, up to here, was pretty much NoExuces so far. So the 14 players on NoExuces team have done about 50% of the damage that NoExuces has managed to do. That's absolutely outrageous. He's having the equivalent of 21 players effectively worth of damage from his team right now. And he's not stopping yet. Now up to over 9,000 damage. Bounces the Samar SM. Great shot there into the lower plate. I really love that play where people are cool under pressure and even reverse kind of side scrape in a scenario like that. You can see that NoExuces is really hyped up right now, seeing all of the different angles, hitting all of those clutch shots. This is a game for the ages already at 9,500. Make that 9,868. NoExuces quickly repairs the tracks there and decides to ram the object 430, now getting them down to a one-shot territory. Unless you choke a shot like that. Okay, calm down, NoExuces. You may be over 10,000 damage now, but you've still got some work cut out to be able to win this game. Just managing to keep their team in it to win it here. The 14 players on NoExuces team, 3 kills. NoExuces, I need more fingers, 6 kills here. Now up to 10,500 damage dealt. But slowly but surely, still finding that they're going to have to manage to do some damage. Oh, a little bit of a missed shot there. Should have given a little bit more lead, but I think that one was a little bit unlucky because you didn't have much time to shoot the T-71DA. You know what? If I was in this kind of a scenario, firstly, I'd be cheering at the fact that I managed to finally do 10,000 damage in World of Tanks. And secondly, the fact that it was in a Tier 9 vehicle. It's crazy. So NoExuces decides to load an HE shell there to try and one-shot the T-71, but unluckily the shell doesn't fly true. And NoExuces now decides to use intuition to switch back to gold. And this is another reason why I just don't understand why people take all premium rounds. Back in the day, you could argue it was because you don't want to have those awkward scenarios where you end up reloading a regular round when you needed to have a gold wound, old wacky baby. No, but these days with intuition, it's so fast to be able to switch out your ammo that I really can't justify players who only just take the premium rounds, even if you're only going to take about 10% regular rounds or 20% regular rounds. It can really help how profitable you are in World of Tanks. It's really interesting watching NoExuces literally having the right mouse button completely locked down while they're driving around the map there. But unfortunately for him, his team has melted. He goes back to the position that worked out oh so well for them and manages to start their 1 versus 6 fight. The Char Future 4 gets clubbed once. Are they going to come around the corner again? Nearly, just a few pixels. Come on, NoExuces. There you go. There's the shot. Great clutch shot there against the Char Future 4, lowering their hit points down now to 392. That's a real unfortunate low roll, but NoExuces keeps their wits about them and also shuts down the Charioteer, reducing their 1 versus 6 into a 1 versus 5, digging their vehicle into an alcove to avoid the possible artillery barrage. NoExuces is now up to 11,500 damage. Make that 11,900 damage. This is a game of absolute insanity right now, boys and girls. This is a Tier 9 tank. In the first 8 minutes of this battle, NoExuces has been doing about 2,000, well, not quite 2,000, near enough, like 1,500 damage per minute at this time. That's absolutely wild for World of Tanks. And what I love about NoExuces is he's not going to go and try and pick up the 9th kill. He's going to risk it all to try and get back towards the cap circle to possibly secure one of the greatest games of World of Tanks that I have ever seen. I'm just hoping that NoExuces is going to be able to handle this one. He's only got 39 seconds left, and oh no, the artillery hits him for 225, which means that he can't take a shot if there's an Su-122-44 inside the cap circle. NoExuces also has to worry about the fact that there could be a GW Panther inside the cap circle as well, and also the fact that the T-71DA, which is an auto-loading American light tank called Cyber Prince, which already has 4 kills, that might be trying to hunt them down as well. So NoExuces now has 12 seconds. Got to be more aggressive in this situation, surely. When's the 6th sense going to go off? 8, 7, 6, 5. Got to take the gut instinct and go for a blind fire. 3, 2... The sneaky Su-122-44, ladies and gentlemen, in the bush, shuts down our hero. But it was actually Cyber Prince who had had enough of NoExuces' glorious run in this battle that eventually flanked them and took down the hero of this game. I mean, what more is there really to say? When I watched this game, I was absolutely baffled, thinking that we were going to see one of the best games in World of Tanks history. And look, 11,900 damage in a tier 9 tank is still absolutely outrageous. And I feel that NoExuces pretty much did everything right more or less in this replay. Apart from arguably hitting that T71 DA. I can imagine they lost a little bit of sleep after this battle, probably just having the dreams of the T71 DA driving across in the open a few times. But unfortunately, it wasn't to be. My heart would have been, certainly going a lot here, and I would have probably choked a couple of shots as well. And it was just really unfortunate for NoExuces that I think that while he was driving inside this tree that we can see as they came around the corner, that it didn't let them know which bush the Su-122-44 or the artillery was in, because clearly NoExuces was trying to get Sixth Sense to pop off and then to blind fire the location to reset the cap and then probably to go after the T-71 DA again. Unfortunately, it was the bush that kept you hidden that didn't let you know exactly where the Su-122-44 was, and it was unfortunate that they were probably in one of the last places that anyone would have checked. So a heartbreak here for NoExuces. This was 1,335 base experience for a loss. And remember, when we factor in courageous resistance, that is going to go up above 2,000 base experience for a tier 9 tank. Outrageous stuff. Also, when we consider that NoExuces did nearly 12,000 damage, while the rest of their team dealt 5,030, they literally did 2 times the damage of all of their team combined, and over, well, nearly 12 times the damage of any one player individually. NoExuces literally was the team here, and it's an absolute heartbreak that they didn't manage to take this one down. But also, a shout out to Cyberprince on the enemy team, who also had a very good game at 1,555 in a bottom tier light tank, and undoubtedly shut down the shenanigans that NoExuces had going on. So NoExuces, congratulations to you on this absolute mammoth game of World of Tanks, and doing more damage than I think 99.99% of the World of Tanks player base has ever done in their life, even in a tier 9 vehicle. And it was an absolute heartbreak. But even with the heartbreak at the end, it was a pleasure to watch you absolutely kicking butt in this E50/E50M roleplay tank. And thank you so much to you for uploading the replay onto the What Replays website for the community to enjoy. I thoroughly did, and I hope all of you out there who are watching this video enjoyed it too. If you did, give the video a thumbs up. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. And if you're watching this video as it's released on Sunday, it's time for the World of Tanks Tech Tree Showcase live right now on twitch.tv/QuickyBaby. And today I'm going to be playing through all of the French heavies, which were recently buffed, and so it's a great time to have a brand new showcase on the French heavy line. So come along if you want to know all there is to know about the French heavy tanks, leading to me playing what is definitely probably the most meta of the meta heavies right now in the AMX M454. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.